work. You've also seen their work on Star Trek Voyager. Everybody like to welcome, as I slow down a little bit, Tim Russ, Ethan Phillips, and Crystal Allen.
You guys watch the movie?
Yeah.
Okay, so you got the wireless there. Crystal Allen and Ethan Phillips, you guys watched the movie, yeah? Yeah. God, they watched God's Man a minute ago. So. These guys did a wonderful job in that. Excellent. You like it? Yeah. Good. Very cool. I'm glad you did. Who was here yesterday? Sure, man. I don't remember who was in.
Who was here the day before yesterday? Who was here last
week?
Hey, Brittany. I know people out there. Sid, Tim, how are you?
Yeah.
Sarah, hi Sue, Gordon.
John is there. Annette's there.
Shut up, you don't know anybody.
I know
do.
them. I remember some names.
What are we supposed to do?
I think it's a Q&A.
Oh, it's a Q&A.
It's a Q&A.
Q&A, okay. This bench sucks. Jesus.
Have you guys enjoyed? Who's just showed up today? Just for today, this week? Oh man, there's only like 4 of you guys. Everybody else is getting repeat.
Well, we'll start with some questions. Tim?
I don't have any questions, thanks. Oh, Crystal, you got any questions?
No, but I'm sure you guys have some questions.
Yes.
Who wants to ask the first question? Anyone?
We'll ask questions again.
Anyone?
Go ahead.
Yesterday you talked about the haunted hotel. Did Ethan and Tim know anything about the haunted?
I don't know. Well, you were in New York, were you? When we were shooting Gods and Men for that week?
I was where I shot it up the state, didn't I?
No, you shot it in L.A.
Oh my god!
You shot in L.A.
That's pretty funny. I don't remember. But anyways, yeah, I was upstate, and I went to the hotel, and apparently they were telling us of these ghost stories, and then the air conditioning went off when Chase was getting sprayed paint green in the lobby. The air conditioning just stopped.
Was that the King's? Is that the King, whatever that was, hotel? That
Yeah,
the
yeah.
King something or other hotel? Yeah.
There was some problems, apparently.
Yeah.
Some hauntings, but I mean, we weren't bothered, but apparently Chase was. But I think it's because the mistress didn't approve of the green paint, being sprayed around in the lobby.
I was staying at a different hotel in that place. We went there for dinner once, but it was screaming. And Ethan, you're lucky you missed out on that because he had a lovely air-conditioned soundstage when he was in LA.
Yeah.
We had, I don't know, we were in hell in this place.
It was so hot.
It was 100 degrees, about 99% humidity. There was no air conditioning in the soundstage on the studio that we were using. This place that had the sets had no air conditioning in it at all. And so we had to shoot at night because that was the only time we could tolerate the temperatures.
It was so hot. I remember Tim called me and said that he had woken up that morning in his hotel and had seen a robin digging for worms and was wearing oven mitts. It was so hot there, the squirrels were actually fanning their nuts.
That's a pretty accurate description of how hot it was.
I don't know if that was the summer that North Korea launched a popsicle because of the heat. Am I right?
Yes,
Yeah, it was
that's an idea of pretty much how hot it was. And
Yeah. It was sweltering.
yes, it was.
Poor JG, that's all I have to say. I mean,
What's it?
Poor JG with the...
Oh, J.G. Hertzler, yeah, he was wearing the full Klingon, garb. I mean, he had the makeup on and the clothes, and that guy was.
It was so hot, Floyd Landis tested positive for Snapple.
It's really proud
Where'd you get that
You're just
from?
like grabbing...
Snapple. That was.
I drove to the set and ended up using my seat buckle as a branding iron.
was lucky. He didn't have to tolerate any of that business at all.
Yeah, I mean, you really
His stuff
were.
was in LA at a soundstage. He was real comfy. But we, for 8 days, baked the entire time, pretty much. It was
How many
ridiculous.
people out there believe in ghosts? I'm just curious.
Wow.
Okay.
Wow.
I have a psychiatrist in the back. After this is over, you can. No, I'm just teasing. I'm actually a ghost myself. I passed away 2 years ago, and I've been haunting conventions for.
Ever since, yeah. And he's worked on projects as well, which is amazing.
They have to use a special filming process.
Yeah.
Yes, because that whole thing about not being visible,
Exactly.
it doesn't work. He was in a feature we worked on not long ago, Night at the Silent Movie Theater, and in fact, we were shooting at the Silent Movie Theater in Hollywood. It was on Fairfax in Hollywood, and they said that theater was haunted. One of our actors was in the movie. You remember in Airplane, the two black guys that do the whole. The drive team with the lady. Well, it was one of those actors that was doing this part. The guy that was doing the part. He's wonderful. But he was kind of spooked by the
And
fact.
Todd's in that movie too.
Yes, he is. The guy was spooked by the fact that the place was haunted. So we couldn't shoot inside the theater. We had to shoot the scene on the patio because he wouldn't come inside the theater. Yes, he would not come in because somebody told him the theater was haunted.
Oh, someone.
And he believed it. So he would not come in the theater. We shot the whole thing on the patio. And even a chair. We were going to give him a chair from inside the.
But the chair was haunted?
He would not come inside the theater. So it was raining outside.
I remember that guy because I was talking to him. He thought my socks were haunted.
Really?
This guy was crazy.
Well, I can understand if he saw you, he might think that there was something paranormal happening. But who wouldn't?
But Tony was in there. I talked to Tony's a character.
Yeah, Tony Todd. You ever met Tony Todd before?
No, who's doing
Candyman. Tony Todd, he was a candy man. He's really tall.
Very scary.
6'5".
But sweet as can be.
Really nice guy. Very serious voice that dude's got.
And Phil Lamar's in that movie, who is one of the funniest men I think I've ever met in my life.
Phil Lamar's great. Wonderful. Very, very funny guy. Outstanding. Any other questions here? We got a couple of others right there.
Yeah, Tim Russ, I have a question for you. When you danced the jig for Neelix, how many takes did that take?
Danced a jig. That's very funny. I tapped my toe left and right, but it still took 3 takes. No, I'm just kidding. I was probably like 2 or 3. Yeah, they would roll and you just do a couple of things, and they'll pick and choose what they like. So it was pretty easy. I like that bit. I like that whole scene, that sequence. When he leaves the ship and comes down the corridor and everybody's standing there. That was a lovely bit.
Yeah, my character got the best farewell on the show of anybody.
That's right, he did. That's right, he did. I told him about the time that we walked when we first came to the set to visit at the very beginning of the series to visit to give him the tour of the set and everything by Rick Berman, the producer and stuff. And we walked, from the parking lot of Paramount there down the side of the building, the alleyway, together, and we were talking about the 7 years.
September of '94.
Yeah, we were talking about the fact that we were going to be on this show for maybe 7 years, and wondering what it might be like, over that course of time, being such a franchise like it is. And then the very last day of shooting, or the very last week of shooting, we came back to the trailers to empty our trailers out at the same time. And that same day, we left the lot for
We
the last
ended up
time,
strolling back down the
walking
same way
back
again
down the same
7 years
alley,
later.
and talked about the 7 years. It's
kinda cool.
It was very cool. It was very, very cool.
What is that?
Yeah, it was kind of melancholy. It was.
Find a lot of friends. Yeah.
Yeah, well, because you make a lot lot of friends, man.
It's like family, right?
That's exactly it.
7 years
You see the same people every day.
Yeah.
And
It's longer than college. It's like college and grad school together.
That's right.
In terms of
Exactly
years.
it. And but
You guys act like frat boys on the set too, I've heard.
What's that?
I don't understand what you're talking about, Kristen.
I said, all you guys act like frat boys on the set, I've heard.
Oh, that's
It's like
I've
anything
heard some
else.
stories.
It's not one thing, it's another. It's always something, though.
But Chris,
You gotta have fun.
at the end of the day, though, it is kind of interesting. We work on projects, and I know all these guys have done the same thing. Whether it's a stage play or whether it's like a long-running show or some type that you're on, you still, you get to work with these people, you get very close to them for a short period of time, and then it's over. And a lot of times you never see them again, and that's basically it. And that's very strange how that is, but it's sort of that way. We didn't always hang out that much during the run of the show. We never really socialized that much together.
We saw each other every day. We hang out more now than we did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very
So you
strange.
guys were like just not talking to her?
Well, we
or
just were
what?
there every
Sad.
day.
We were just there every day. And when we left, everybody went
Last
to
thing I want to see is Tim Russ when I go home.
Right,
Yeah.
right. No, I know
Looking
that.
at him for 18 hours.
Sat
Oh, yeah.
together in general.
Yeah.
That's all I did was
I
chat.
couldn't imagine, after I got home, coming out of the shower, and, Ethan sitting on my couch, sitting there, wondering where the popcorn was or whatever. It was,
everybody had a trailer, and everybody's trailer was different. And,
That's right.
And Tim's trailer was very funny. But everybody had like Kate's trailer was like, she had little doilies and little lamps and candy. It was like an English cottage. And Beltran's trailer was, they would give us like boxes of merchandise, from the, dolls and books and all the stuff that they
Mugs and all that.
And we'd give them out to the crew. But Beltran just kept them in his trailer. So by the end of the 7th year, his trailer was stuffed with all this crap. And that was his trailer. And then Garrett's trailer looked like, I don't know, like a brothel. It looked like an old bar in the West. But Tim's trailer, you go into Tim's trailer, and it was very dark. And there was always purple curtains. And it was very somber in there. And you had a bike. Remember you had a bike?
Yeah, little
He used to bike to stage 18. It was a short walk, but he had to have a bike. And it was a strange trailer to go in, the Insider's trailer, we used to call it.
The Insider's trailer.
My trailer was all, kids used to send me pictures of Neelix, so my whole trailer was wallpaper with pictures.
Yeah, he had
Kids'
pictures of drawings of
Neelix.
Neelix all over the place.
And Picardo, he had a cappuccino machine. It was like
A masseuse.
the whole 9 yards. There was a Cadillac parked out in front. He had a barber.
Manicures,
Manicures, yeah. That's,
I never went into Roxanne's trailer.
I was only
I
in it
never
one
went 7
time.
years.
One time.
Never went into her trailer.
One time I went to her trailer.
Robbie's was all DVDs.
What's that?
Robbie's was all DVDs.
DVDs, yeah.
What about Kessler 709?
709?
Jerry's.
I was spending a lot of time in that trailer. Probably more than even necessary. In fact, that became my trailer.
Yeah, she couldn't go back to her trailer because he was in it all
Well,
the
we
time.
shared it the last 2 years.
Yeah.
I actually had a charge after a while. I had a complaint up to Paro because she kept hitting on me. I said, listen, I can't take this as harassment. And then she backed off a little bit towards the second season. No, I don't do TV.
I haven't. I think I was supposed to. I was supposed to read for that episode for part or something, or do one of those episodes. At the time, he did call me. It was about 2 years ago. I couldn't do it. I was doing something else, working on something else, and I couldn't get there. I tried to work it out. I would have liked to have worked on the show. Do what now? Big Bang? Big Bang Theory.
You sound like my grandmother. She used to go, why don't you do a commercial? I go, yeah, sure. I'd love to do a commercial.
Yeah.
You should really be on a soap opera. That's a great idea. If they hire me, I'll do Big Bang. They have to call me.
Crystal, have you done any soaps at all? Have you done any soaps?
No, I actually tested for one a couple years ago, but yeah, Guiding Light.
Guiding Light?
But I didn't get it, which is kind of cool.
Guiding Light is still on
It's
there?
fine with me.
It's gone.
Hasn't that been on for like a million years, Guiding
Is
Light?
it gone now, Guiding Light?
Is it gone?
Finally.
It was on forever, right? It was like one of the original. That was one of the original soaps, right? And wasn't there another one that went down as well?
As the world turns.
As the World Turns went away.
Oh, yeah.
Wow, man.
I was on one soap I did was called The Days of the Week, which was these are the days of the week.
That sounds familiar. Isn't that like from SCTV or something?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's SCTV.
Was it this?
Everything I say I
Days of the
steal.
week.
SCTV.
Yeah,
I did do a soap opera a couple of
Second
weeks ago.
City. That's okay, that was based in Canada, wasn't it?
Exactly.
Was it
It's a
Toronto?
Canadian. They filmed in Edmonton. They filmed in Toronto.
Yeah?
Yeah, and they had this little skit called "These Are the Days of the Week."
Days of the
Very
Week.
melodramatic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very cool.
A lot of good Canadian.
John, you got a question?
Yeah. My two friends up here, Crystal, have had a lot of convention experience. How many conventions have you been to, and do you enjoy it?
Me? Gosh, let's see. Pretty much the Vegas one is the one I only really done. I mean, I've done a couple local ones in LA. So yeah, I mean, I always have a good time in Vegas, and it's always good. And yeah, we always see each other. We always hang out, and
Absolutely.
yeah, I haven't done any of the ships the cruise ships. I've been asked a couple times, but are those fun?
Those are actually not bad at all.
Really?
Those are pretty cool, yeah.
Okay.
They're pretty cool. I mean, the boats are so huge now. I think the first one I think of, there was like, there were 375 fans on that cruise ship, and it was not as big as the ones they have now. Now the numbers of fans is much smaller, and the ships are bigger. So that is the difference. But you know, they're fun. They're kick. Except when if they break down, and I don't want to be on one of those pubs when they don't work properly.
You just can't get off. I mean, you're in the middle of the ocean. It's kind of, I was on one for a week for work. It was, I don't know, it was by the last day I was feeling a little like, well, first I was nauseous. I mean, the ship was, you know, I don't know if I could do it.
I don't mind the ships. They're all right. They're all
It
right.
always feels like there's a lot of bacteria in the ships. I don't like it. I feel like I'm in a hospital. There's bacteria and stuff. I don't like it. Jesus. Bacteria. No, I'm just saying. I'm just saying.
When you were talking about Vegas, have any of you ever been to the Star Trek experience when it was at the Las Vegas Hilton?
Yeah, I went there once. That is a very tough town. I lost $20 in the stamp machine the last time I was there. Can you believe that?
You didn't get a stamp? Not even one?
And you didn't even get a stamp, and that's not cool.
Couldn't even mail your one letter.
Oh my God.
The only way to make money in that town is when you get off the plane, walk into the propeller. Then you can sue the airline. Because otherwise, you're gonna go away broke.
I was there when I think when it first opened, they had some kind of big shindig there. I was there for that, so it was actually a pretty cool ride. It was a very cool ride. It was very different than some of the other motion simulators and stuff. They have a whole thing that happens before you even get in the sim, so it's actually pretty cool. Oh, brother.
Oh my God.
Favorite actor,
You
Tim
on
Russ.
his shirt. His breasts.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I have to
He
put
hates it when I wear that.
I have to put up with that. 7 years, man. 7 long years.
So we just bought a summer home in North Korea, my wife and I. And
Comes with a bomb shelter. Did you have a question? Was there somebody over there? I thought I saw a hand over there. I wasn't sure. Yes.
I always hear about every cast has a particular member they like to pull pranks on. On your group, who was that fortunate?
Yeah, it was pretty much everybody.
everybody got pranks pulled on them.
Yeah, sometimes it was that crew didn't do too much on Voyager. They didn't try to get us on Voyager. It was usually us trying to get them, you know. Generally, that's how it was. So it was, or sometimes going after each other on occasion as well. Yes. You know what now? Oh, Fringe or Eureka. Fringe or Eureka.
Did we
I've
try
not
to
read for either one of those
I
shows.
read for Fringe. Yeah.
I've not read for either one of those. You read for those at all either?
No, I don't do TV. I do mainly film and theater, and radio.
But I mean, if they might want to hire Ghost. You know?
That's true. That's true. You had your hand up, miss?
Yes, what was some of the worst pranks that you committed that were
The pranks? Tim has an amazing prank. He probably did the most amazing prank on the show. Why don't you tell it?
Which one? Which one was it?
Which one?
There's a couple of them on there.
Come on. The Dream.
Oh yes, the Dream. What was it? Bob Picardo was having the doctor's having this sort of nightmare sequence.
Is this clean?
Sort of.
It's kind of clean.
Depends on how you tell it.
Anybody under 12 can plug
What was
their ears.
what was the episode? I don't remember the episode. It was Maria knows the episode. Christ, what was it again?
Who knows the names of the titles?
Could that be the longer title than that? Tinker, Tenor, Doctor, Spy, right? The doctor's having some kind of flashback or something in the mess hall, and I think Ethan was being covered. Tuvok's character goes crazy, he goes into Ponfar, he grabs a phaser and starts threatening everybody there in the mess hall, and Ethan's character he stands up and is in shock at what's going on, and it's just a piece of coverage of him being surprised at Tuvok's, acting crazy. And so basically, when the camera rolled, he's the only one on film. When the camera rolled, I just told the cameraman, because I always would tell him, I would just tell him, just keep rolling. And he pretty much knew what that was. That was code for, this is not going to be a regular take. And I just, as soon as they said action, he gets up and he starts doing this, starts reacting. And I just ran I ran into the shot, and grabbed Ethan, threw him up against the counter, and started having my way with him. From behind. He was very, at first he was outraged, and then after a while he kind of settled in. But anyway, the footage was, they had to be careful with that footage because they didn't want that to get out.
I actually have some at my table. This rug is giving me a migraine. How many of you guys? Oh my God.
Oh, no, I didn't use that, no. It was, we were both in uniform. I mean, it was just, it was very, they were not expecting it. And we needed, actually it was a long day and everybody's pretty tired, so we needed to break up everything with that. It was fun. That was absolutely, it was definitely a kick. And I don't know, we didn't do anything on Gods and Men. I don't think we did any pranks on Gods.
I did the little gumdrop thing.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, on the bloopers reel in Gods and Men, Crystal has one that she
I
did.
did a little funny one.
It's a funny one.
That was funny.
Did you guys see it?
Yeah.
Did you watch that? Did you watch that bit?
Silly, just silly. You have to be silly.
Yeah, the blooper reel's actually kind of cute. Most of it's just, errors and boo-boos and craziness.
We had fun though. I mean, I don't know if that was the only thing that was actually filmed. But
Yes, that's
we
right.
always were goofing around. You had to. I mean, you were sweltering. It's like you go a little crazy. It's so hot. You're just like, you missed all that, Ethan.
Were you there when that special effects guy set off that freaking bomb it was supposed to be just sparks, and he lit this damn thing up, and it was louder than anything I've ever heard before.
No, I don't think I was there that day.
Oh my God, it was crazy. Yeah, we were shooting Alan Ruck, and I just asked him for, this guy traveled eight hours, on his own to do special effects on camera, sparks and explosions. This guy did those all for free. He did it voluntarily. And he's very good, but I asked him, I said, oh man, John, his name is John. And he put some shower sparks, in the background of the shot. He says, yeah, no problem. So we had a close-up on Alan, and it said action, and then this bloody thing went off, man. I thought it was an IED going off. What the hell is that? When my ears are ringing for about 5 minutes, they asked me, do you want any earplugs? I said, no, man, it's a shower of sparks. I don't need earplugs. This thing goes off, his arm is rattling. It's like, holy crap. And later on, I told him, I said, dude, I thought you were just going to put, one of those things that goes, and throw stuff down. So the next time we did it, I said, yeah, just give me the spray. I don't need the bomb. That bomb thing that's not working, man. Because nobody's going to hear that except us. And it was unbelievably loud. But he was very good. He did a wonderful job volunteering to do that work. It was so very cool.
That movie looks amazing.
They did a great job on that thing.
$10 million film.
Very inexpensive, that movie, yes.
As a director, do you still initiate pranks with your other projects to keep the cast and crew loose?
It depends on the project. If I'm on something like Gods and Men for a long period of time, we might do something like that once in a while. But if it's only for a short, like a day here, 2 days here, and it's under the gun to get
Yeah, it's
everything
him
shot.
gets the job done.
A lot of times, just want to get the job.
Yeah, it's
get
just
the
like,
job
let's
done.
just get this shot.
I did a movie called The Shadow
Quick.
with Alec Baldwin and Jonathan Winters. And I have 2 scenes in it. I open up a sarcophagus, and the sarcophagus the shadow is living in the sarcophagus, and it causes me to shoot myself, and I die. And the next scene, I'm lying in a pool of blood, and the cops come and to investigate. And Jonathan Winters is the head of police, and we're shooting downtown LA. Russell McKay is directing, and it's a big shot. There's 40, 50 extras. There's 7 or 8 actors. There's a lot of traffic. It's all choreographed. This is an expensive shot. It's a shot that probably cost, it's a $20 million movie, so it's probably a $5,000 shot every 5 minutes or something like that. So I'm lying in the pool of blood, and Jonathan Winters, who is a clown and can't help improvising and joking around. So he says, action, and Jonathan Winters comes out, and he's supposed to look at my body, and his line is, wrap him up and call the ambulance. We'll get down to the police station right now. He comes out, he looks at my body, he goes, I know him. He was my lover for 10 years. And everybody laughs, and it's hysterical, and the director's laughing. And he says, great, let's do it again. And they go, action, and Jonathan Winters comes out and goes, this guy owes me $25. And so everybody's laughing. This goes on for 8 or 9 takes. And finally the director is like going out of his mind, and he's begging Jonathan to please do a take. But Winters is just, he's such a nut. They finally get a take, but it costs a fortune. And that's why they don't like to do that, you know? I ran into him in the, I'm a big fan of Jonathan Winters, and I ran into him in the trailer, and I said, oh, Jonathan Winters, what a pleasure to meet you. And he starts going off on this crazy rap, you know? Finally, after about 10 minutes, I need to get away from the guy. I gotta go put my makeup on. And then another interesting story I remember, I was walking down, we had, you know where stage 16 was? I'm walking down, we have a long alley between stage 8 and stage 9. And it's like 5 in the morning, and I just got into makeup, and I'm walking down this long alley on Paramount, going towards stage 16. I see this figure come and turn the corner way at the end, walking towards me. And, you know, we're walking towards us in a slow down, and he gets about 50, 60 feet from me, and I realize it's Robin Williams. And he comes, he's on set, he's on this studio doing the Concho Fall. And he gets about 20 feet from me, and he goes, Neelix! Oh my God! The eggs are getting so big I didn't even go. He does this whole interspatial alien routine about an alien chef. And then he goes on for like 3 or 4 minutes. I'm howling. And then at the end, he bows to me and says, I love your character.
That's so cool.
That was the coolest thing.
That is so cool.
Did you chat afterwards, or was that it?
That was it. Then I said, I love your work, and he walked right
5
out.
in the morning, and
Yeah.
he's on.
He's
Oh my God.
I mean, what does he do?
Yeah.
And the fact that it was 5 in the morning was fine, but the fact that he was a Voyager fan was also
Yeah.
surprising.
That's
Yeah,
bizarre. That's bizarre. He
Yeah.
had your character by name, and he was
You know
ready to
the name
go.
of the character?
Oh,
He
man, that's
just
so
went on.
cool.
He was walking towards you with a finger.
That is so cool. 5 in the morning, they're trying to revive me at 5 in the morning.
Yeah, I was like, what is this guy?
Jesus Christ.
Did you say Aaron added to it?
No, I didn't. I didn't. No. No. I forgot.
I got a chance to meet, who was a fan? There were those 2 guys, David Spade and his partner, Chris Farley. We're both shooting the follow-up to Tommy Boy. It was like another one of those. And they were shooting right next to stage 9 or stage 8 where we were. We were shooting right next to it. And I went over there on a break and I got a chance to talk to those guys for a minute, hang out with them. It was very cool. And I'm still in my uniform and makeup and everything. But it was great to be able to hang out with
Chris
them.
Farley.
Very nice.
I love
Sweethearts.
him.
Both of them are just so cool.
Yeah.
Very, very
Hilarious
cool.
guy.
Yes.
Strange to see. You know, we had a bunch, back before cell phones, we had a bunch of payphones on the set. I remember when I was doing Next Generation, and that was in 1986, and there were no cell phones. And they had like 5 or 6 payphones in front of stage 8. And you'd see these guys, like aliens, you know, covered with rubber and 3 eyes and stuff, and they'd be on their phone going, talking to their agent, you know, going, what do you mean I'm not right for it, you know? And I remember seeing these guys thinking, this is only in Hollywood.
I remember that. You see them standing outside, you know, they're full on, dude, I mean, got stuff coming up this way and around the back and all this stuff hanging out, and they're like, oh, well, you know, I was such and such and blah, blah, blah. And they're all hanging out in the phones and the coffee.
Big, huge
and whatever.
clamouns. Yeah, I'll take a Diet Coke.
You're walking up and down the alleys. It was very cool. Very cool.
Or when JG had the little pink fan on Gods of Men. So cool. This big guy is like so angry because he's so hot. He's got this little baby pink fan.
Which couldn't have been doing anything.
We got some footage on that, I'm sure.
I think we
I
might
saw
have,
that
yeah.
in the outtake. Right?
We couldn't have been getting any kind of help from that fan. I mean, it's just a little tiny thing.
It's the only relief he got. I mean, we were all like,
It was a
I mean, of
mess.
course.
Have you met Chris Farley at all? Did you meet him already?
No, but I am a huge fan of his. Oh my God, who was?
It's very funny.
Oh, that's
Lovers, Chris and I, for years.
Oh, really?
The motivational speaker on that.
Oh.
The motivational speaker.
In a van down by the river. SNL with Chris Farley?
SNL,
Oh my God.
you never saw that, the motivational speaker. He does this
Yeah.
bit with
And
this
he's-
guts just hanging
Yeah,
over.
he's like-
He's got that thing,
Yeah.
he's got these horn rimmed glasses,
He's
and he's
falling
just,
all over the place.
he's in this living room with these
Uh-huh.
people trying to talk to him about.
And the other actors in those shots, they cannot stop laughing.
No,
They're trying
no.
not to. And Chris never breaks character.
Never breaks character.
Never breaks
Not
character. And everyone else you can see, like Adam Sandler. Like, you see it, right? Yeah.
There's Spade. Turn upstage. He's got to go upstage. He's got to go like this.
Yeah,
his shoulders are just, he can't stay still because he's just dying. And Farley's just poured it on, and he stands in it. At the very end of the sketch, he always ends up falling on the coffee table and splinters this thing into a million pieces. You see this bit at all? Oh my God!
Oh, you have to see it.
You have to see it. Either YouTube it or something. Maybe it might be on YouTube. Chris Farley as the motivational speaker. Man, it is insane.
Oh my God!
That's right. That was the he does it. It was a dancing bit. Yeah.
He's all like innocent. He's like, oh, it wasn't good enough, and he's like, oh my God, that's right. That was a good one. And the judges are all like looking very serious. Oh God, that was so well done.
They're both gone.
Best of Saturday Night Live.
They're both
Best
gone,
of Chris
yeah.
Farley, yeah.
Damn, man.
Who would be your
My
favorite?
mother used to say all the time, well, it's like anything else. And I was like,
What was like anything else?
well, it's like anything else.
And there's absolutely no, when you figure out what the hell the logic is in that.
Not one thing is another. I hope so. Always something. Yeah.
It's always something, yeah.
Let's hope.
Yes.
I think that Chris Farley would be your favorite comedian.
One of many.
Yeah.
I have. There's a lot of them I like. He's just, I was a big fan of Mad TV, so I watched a lot of Phil Lamar stuff. And
Thank you.
yeah, Phil Lamar. Those guys, to me, I thought some of the stuff was even funny.
Phil Lamar is one of the funniest guys I know.
Very funny stuff. Just hysterical. Wonderful comedy. There is some, there's no, when you get every chance to do a good laugh, and I'm talking about one where you get tears in your eyes and your stomach's hurting, man. There's nothing better in the world. Just to get one of those, just every once in a while. I have a picture of Ethan on my mirror, and every time in the morning I get just a howling laugh to see his face. It's just wonderful. I feel great after that.
All the way back there, yes. About 3.5 hours, yeah. You had about an hour to take off, yeah.
5 hours.
5 hours.
And 2 hours to take off.
2 hours to take off. And Miss Crystal, you haven't done any. You didn't do anything heavy special effects makeup on our show.
No, just, well,
Who would want to cover that up?
Makeup is
You cast her
pretty
for the way
much-
she looks. You don't want to cover that up.
No. I mean, she had to do the whole body green. Yeah, was it
The green thing, yeah, right.
Yeah.
That was
oh,
at 5
body
hours. No way.
Well, the first day, yeah. I mean, and then they got it down to like 4.
4.
Yeah.
They got it down.
They got it down to 4.
Down to 4 and change, right?
Yeah, because you've got the spraying, and then you've got to put the
man.
wig on, and then you have to do the eye shading, and then they powder you down, and then they glisten you, and then the costume, and then, yeah.
Oh man.
Used to do that makeup?
There was 3 people working on me at all
Did
times.
Scott
I wanted
Wheeler?
to shoot them.
Scott Wheeler was one of them?
No, she was on. You were on DS9 for that.
Or was DS9?
Yeah, I don't know. It was probably somebody else doing it.
He's an Oscar winner. I can't remember his name, but he worked on Enterprise, yeah.
But you don't have to wear any
Westmore.
rubber stuff, though.
No.
That's a nightmare.
I don't think I'd like that.
That was the girlfriend of Kermit the Frog, right?
Girlfriend of Kermit.
Who? The green girl? She-Hulk, yeah.
Girlfriend of She-Hulk.
Walking hand in hand in the sunshine. Oh, no, it's water-based.
No, it's water-based.
I mean, my skin was a bit irritated a little bit afterwards, but
But
it
you had
wasn't
to
that
keep
bad.
putting it because it would rub off, wouldn't it? From time to time.
Well, yeah, like, it
Just-
was touch-ups. You had to do touch-ups.
Touch-ups all day.
Yeah, well, yeah.
That was silver or something else that you put
And
on.
then the Tin Man also had some issues.
The
right?
original Tin Man, by the way, in case you didn't know, was Buddy Epson. Originally, was the original Tin Man. He was allergic to the silver,
Oh, he was
let's say
so-
nitrate? What the hell was that stuff? There was silver nitrate, isn't it? It's some kind of nitrate. What's that, oxide? Yeah, that's what it was. He couldn't do it. He couldn't tolerate the makeup back in the old days. Wow.
Yeah, Lon Chaney, and he used to, man, they didn't have any of this stuff. He was, I've read a biography of him, when he played Quasimodo, and he had that look like that, he put a fish hook in his face and pulled it back and glued the fish hook to his forehead. And when he wanted to show and his eyes were white, he put eggshells. They didn't have contact lenses. So he went to all these different lengths. That's what they call the man of 1,000 faces. And back then he was like, he would suffer any indignity in order to get a look. And you read a biography of this guy, he was incredible. Lon Chaney Sr.
And that would have been either him and Boris Karloff would have been in the same time period.
Well, Chaney was the 20s and 30s, and Karloff was more 30s and 40s. Chaney was the first guy to really do any kind of extreme makeup before they had any of the stuff.
God, it's amazing.
He was an absolute freak. And you watch his early movies and talk about a chameleon. The dude, you don't even know who he is from movie to movie because he changes so much. He was just infatuated with makeup. Incredible.
And the lights they would have used, they used those big, huge incandescents, those giant bulbs. Those things were like 1,000 degrees, man, on the set, so you can imagine. Yikes.
There's a great actor out there. He's a British actor. His name is Sean Harris. Did anybody see Harry Brown? That movie, it was like a British Death Wish with Michael Caine. It's a great movie. It came out about 4 or 5 months ago. It's a very, very good film. But it's like Death Wish, only it takes place in Britain, and Michael Caine plays this old pensioner who's being really mugged and bothered by these young thugs. And he goes to get revenge, and he buys a gun from this character named Stretch. And this guy, Sean Harris, plays Stretch. And it is the most reptilian, evil character I have ever seen on the screen. This actor is absolutely riveting. He's malefic. I freaked out when I saw him. I said, he was burning off the screen. I said, who is this dude? And I Googled him and checked him out. And he's a British actor. He's done like 10 or 12 films. He did a movie called 24-Hour Party People, where he played Ian Curtis, the frontman for Joy Division, who hung himself when he was about 22. He was never elected. And he plays all these different, really bizarre characters. He did a show called, a movie called Creep, which was a British film about a deranged dude living in the metro system. And every film, he completely and utterly changes to the point that he's unrecognizable. I watched a movie, he did Trauma. I watched the whole film. I couldn't figure out which one he was. And so I tried, who is this guy? And I got him IMDb. He does a lot of British television. He has not given an interview in his entire life, and it was impossible to find a picture of him, what he looks like. I found a lot of people talk about him. They called him, oh, he's our British De Niro, blah, blah, blah. I finally found a picture of him. He went to the premiere of Harry Brown, and he was kind of like turning away from the camera. And he's this gorgeous guy. He's got red hair. He's got this chiseled movie star face. Really good-looking fella. And I kind of come to be fascinated by this guy because he's the real thing. He's totally watch Harry Brown or anything that this guy's in, Sean Harris. I guarantee he's going to be a major star.
It's creepy when you think about it. There are actors out there, and I'm also a musician. I've been for 30 years, and it's the same kind of thing. When you see some of these cats pick up a guitar and play, and you just go home and put yours in the corner and don't look at it again because it's like, holy Christ, man. Where do they get that from? And it's the same thing. There's a lot of singers. What is it? The little 10-year-old girl that sings the opera now, I guess, in the she's 10 years. No. This girl is 10 years old, and she's singing opera that sounds like she's like 40. Her voice sounds like 40, and she's only been training for 1 year.
But she's a freak.
She's a freak. But that's what I'm saying. These entertainers.
There's some amazing seamstresses. Jesus, sorry.
The last name was Don.
She has a rock band, doesn't she?
What's that?
Scarlett Palmer has a rock band. She was a little Naomi Wild.
That's right. Yeah. Well, no, wait a minute. She's not. How old is she now? She's like in her teens.
When she was 10, she performed at Fantasticon. And she belted without like Kim Morgan did last night.
She has always had a great voice. Apparently when she was a fetus, she could sing, and it was incredible. This is what I heard. I don't know if it's true.
I don't know what to say. I have to apologize for my colleague. We are not.
It's like Tourette's, and I can't.
It's some kind
I don't want to say it.
Some kind of condition he has.
It is a condition. It's a condition. I take medication.
He can't stop. It's just.
If I wasn't on medication, it would be you wouldn't even want to be around. Yes, sir. In the back, with your hand up.
I was wondering, Tim, are you possibly on the list as being a biopic for Barack Obama? Play him.
Barack Obama. Everybody keeps saying, I should be playing Barack Obama. on the day, it'll never happen. They'll hire, I don't know.
They'll get Paul Newman.
They'll get Sam Jackson to play or something. Yeah, it'll be Sam Jackson or somebody, you know. Yeah, it's everybody says the same. I don't know how that'll happen. I don't know if that'll happen, but they'll probably get somebody who's has got a bigger name than I do to play that bio. I'm sure they will. It would be nice to be able to do it. It'd be great. Yeah. He's got to survive one more term in order to do that, I think.
It'd be great as Joe Biden. Maybe we should do a little thing, huh?
Joe Biden. Yeah. Because you never see him.
Crystal can be Barbara Bush. This is fantastic.
You should do a dinner theater show like that. Yeah, dinner theater comedy. Barbara Bush.
No question.
Yeah. I'm gonna do it.
They're pushing her, yeah.
Trying. My dad was teasing me on the way up to do this, so I'm gonna do it. Will you dance the jig that you did on the show?
I didn't dance a jig.
Well,
He moved his foot.
All I
2
did was
inches.
move my foot 2 inches left.
Go ahead, do it, Jim. Move your foot 2 inches.
What? I'm doing it now. Just,
There you go. Look at that. Wow.
I literally moved my toe 2 or 3 inches back. We actually talked about what that was going to be. We actually had to discuss all that moment, and we went back and forth as to what he was going to do, if anything, for that bit. We weren't sure exactly what it was going to be, if it was going to be a little bit more than that, or even less. So it was interesting. On the day, we actually chose to do that instead. Yes?
Yes, Tim, could you reenact the scene where you're killing Felix because he's annoying?
That's not a reenactment. I actually do kill him every time I work with him. So it's nothing. It's real. It's
How about the hug when you guys first meet?
the hug when you first meet.
I've actually worked with Tim quite a bit because he directs a fair amount and he always hires me, which I like. Which is very nice.
He's yeah. We had some funny stuff. There's some fun stuff out there we've done. I worked with Crystal a couple of times as well. So I worked with him in another short film as well, and on Gods and Men is also. So we just did another one recently that we shot down in Orange County, just another short. And Crystal's got some pretty good stuff coming up here pretty soon too. She's looking forward to seeing her jamming, man. She's got a big project on the runway. You guys will be looking out for her, okay?
Yeah.
TV.
Can't talk about it yet. It's
HBO,
great.
yes.
Check it out.
It's coming.
It's right around the corner.
What's that?
Tell us a little bit about Roddenberry on
Roddenberry
Patrol.
Patrol. Yeah, you know, I didn't have any copies of that. I couldn't bring a copy of it because I run out, so I had to get some more. Roddenberry Patrol we shot a while back. It was basically like a 15, 16-minute short about featuring a character that early Gene Roddenberry when he was working as a bike cop in LA, writing westerns and stuff in the 50s and 60s. And he was trying to pitch Star Trek, the original series Star Trek, to the networks. And that was the whole bit. Ethan plays a studio executive, Gorn. The studio executive's name is Gorn. So we have, throughout the movie, it's all these little bits and pieces that have Trek, sort of lore in them. And it's about how he's inspired to come up with this, because he's having trouble, he's having like a writer's block, is how he's going to pull the whole concept together. So everybody he meets, and everywhere he goes in this day or two of what he's doing, he gets inspired by things that people say to him, and who they are, and that's how he creates all the characters for the series. So he, at one point in time, Walter Koenig is in it, Nichelle Nichols is in it, Ethan, myself. And during the whole time, because he's a bike cop, there's a B-plot of a killer that's going around. He's the red shirt bandit. And he keeps stealing everybody's red shirts and hoarding them. But anyway, so it's a cute little piece. I don't think it's online. It's not streaming online, but I think you can get it at darkskypictures.com. I think that's where it is. I have to double check. On my site, see if you can find it on my site. If not, just Google it and see if you can find it there. Roddenberry Patrol. I mean, you'll probably get a website that'll bring it up, where you can still find it.
We only got about 5 minutes left. I'll be here till 10 though. I'm gonna be up here till 10 o'clock tonight, so don't, if you have anything else.
He's going to be here after everybody's left. He'll still
I'll be here for another 9 hours.
He'll be sitting in the lobby, just waiting around. He'll be here for a while.
Yes, yes, sir.
Question for Ethan. What was your favorite moment as Neelix?
My favorite moment is Neelix?
Yeah.
Every day when I took the makeup off. That was it.
Yeah, it's a relief to get out of that stuff, by the way.
No, there was a lot of favorites, a lot of fun moments. Throwing the spaghetti in Robbie's face was fun on that show. I remember.
How many takes did you guys do of that?
We
Just
probably did
one?
about 5 or 6 because
Oh,
it
no
wouldn't
way.
land right. So they had 6 different jackets for Robbie, each one stained with tomato sauce in exactly the same way.
Oh my God.
Alfarian hair pasta was the dish that I threw at him. That was fun.
But you had to throw 6 different times?
Yeah.
And they had to clean them up every time?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Yeah. Ouch. Yeah, it was a drag. But we were being paid, so it wasn't daily wages. It was like running the country right here. Just throwing pasta on somebody.
That sounds fun, actually.
Wasn't that hard?
Yes, that's high art.
Yeah, high art. I remember one night it was like we were doing a scene. Tim and I were doing a scene. David Livingston was directing, and it was a scary show. It was a haunted show or something. And you were coming out of a door, and you were wearing a gas mask, and I had frightened. And David Livingston was shooting a scene, and he kept doing the same take over and over and over again. He was trying to get some light glint in the goggles of your thing. And I just remember finally Brad just screaming that that's it, no more. Do you remember that?
Yeah. Oh yeah, that happened more than once. You were.
I worked with him twice. He's like that. I mean,
He's
it's
like that, yeah.
he-
Perfectionist.
Oh God,
Like
I wanted to
32
kill
takes.
him. I was so angry because I did this movie called Mirror Mirror in front of the mirror, and I wanted to kill myself in the end. Literally, I do kill myself in the end. And I wanted to kill David. I was like, he was killing me, and I started screaming at him too.
Yeah.
Was that the one with was that the one with Bob Ricardo? No.
No, that was called Revenge.
Revenge.
That-
But did
he was a little more relaxed with that one, but I think the Mirror Mirror one.
Oh my
he
God.
was.
It would be like
It was a 12-day shoot. I mean, it's a short. I was like,
Yeah, for short.
Yeah.
For short.
one shot, just me in front of the mirror. I mean, it's not brain surgery.
14 takes, 22. I think the longest record he had was 30 takes of one shot, just one thing.
It's too much.
It
You
is
lose
insane,
the freshness of it if you do
lose
that
the
many times.
energy and
I mean, there was one shot where he wanted me to. I was in the hardware store. This is Revenge, and he wanted me to take these 2 gloves out because I'm going to kill this Picardo. I'm going to go kill him. And he had me do it like over and over. All I have to do is take gloves out of the basket. And he's like, okay, do it again. A little bit over there. Okay, now a little bit more closer to the, and I'm like, 10 minutes on a shot like that. I'm like, really?
yeah, I think
Yeah. But,
Yeah.
I mean, both projects turned out amazing.
yeah, they
So,
look great, but yeah,
He definitely.
you could get them in, like half the time.
Yeah, you could. It's
You
so
don't want to
close.
wear out the crew, you don't want to wear out the actors.
Yeah,
If
I
you
mean,
get a
it's-
good take early on, man, you get a couple of them, you gotta move on to something else.
Yep.
Because you'll wear everybody out. It's like the next day, it's like you're starting 4 hours later, and it's just not good. So, but anyway, that's our
That's neither here nor there.
it's our pet peeves.
Yeah.
It's our pet
Like
peeve.
anything else, I guess.
Like anything else.
Oh, anything else?
What does that mean, neither here nor there? There's another one.
Well, and there you go.
I gotta remember that one.
And there you go. There you go. That's,
There you go.
and there you go. Yeah. We are off and running. Yes.
Who's your favorite directors to work on?
Favorite directors?
Work on the show.
Oh, they worked on the show with. There was an older guy that I worked with, old timer, and I'm trying to remember his name. Bob. His first name was
The
Bob.
guy who worked with Stanley Kubrick.
Yes.
Yeah.
You remember talking about? Was it
Robert?
It was Bob something. Bob. Damn it. What was his name? He was great.
He worked with Stanley Kubrick.
He came on and he was so easy to work with, and just get it shot, get it in the can, and let's move on, Because our days sometimes, we average, 15 hours a day sometimes. It was rarely did we ever shoot under 12. We never shot under 12. And it was just so nice to get people on there once in a while that just wanted to shoot and go, and get it. Oh, what's the name? The Big Cowboy as well. He always wore like cowboy hats and stuff. He was really cool as well. We had a couple of guys that were funny, also very funny. But those were two of my favorites. They're very easygoing, very cool, they knew exactly what they wanted.
Frakes was fun.
Yeah, and Frakes was great.
Frakes was easy on the set.
Easy.
Real good man.
Yeah. Did you work with Frakes before?
No, I can't remember his name. Alan something. Canadian.
Oh, Alan Craker. Alan Craker.
On Enterprise? Was he doing Enterprise then?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's who. Yeah, he was
Alan
great.
Craker, yeah.
Canadian
Alan
guy.
Craker. Yes, sir.
He was amazing.
Yeah, he worked with us as well.
Who do you guys look to as your mentors and your heroes?
I looked at Tim. Pretty much. Tim Russ.
Obviously, I've got him on a trust.
Yeah, it's I look to me. He's an inspiration for me. No.
You know, I look to everybody who's good and then steal anything I can.
Yeah.
Now there you go.
It's true.
It's a practical approach. Oh, there's been several. I go all the way back to Sidney Poitier. I go back to. I used to like Lawrence Olivier. Give me a Lawrence Olivier. I'm sorry, Lawrence of Arabia. Peter O'Toole. I liked O'Toole's unpredictability, and I think there's something cool to that as well.
Judi Dench.
Meryl Streep, monster.
Richard
Monster.
Widmark.
She's a monster.
Which one?
Judi
Judy?
Dench. Yeah. Oh, man, she's so cool.
She's tough.
Very cool. Who else? There's a few out there that I like.
Oh, there's a ton of them. Too many of them.
Yeah, there's this.
Way too many. You know, they're all good.
And everybody's different. So I mean, it's like I think it was like what Ethan said. You might learn a few things about how they might play moments or beats or things like that. But every single circumstance is going to be different. Every director's going to be different. The actor you're working opposite of is different. So it's not. You can't necessarily use something that you saw or something that borrow a moment or some technique or something. You got to find it yourself, and you're going to be your own personality is going to come through on all that stuff. So whatever it is you got.
You can't copy anybody. You got to make it your own.
That's it.
But you can still steal.
You can steal jokes, apparently.
You can steal stuff and then make it your own. I see an actor do something, I go, I'm going to use that. It'll be different because I'm doing it. And nobody's going to know that I stole it. But that's a great trick, and I'm going to take that trick. You learn it all the time. Michael Caine. You watch Michael Caine. From Morgan Freeman, I learned relax. He was a guy. He used to say, when I hear the word action, I don't hear action. I hear relax.
That's a neat trick.
And so you would watch it.
That's a technique.
When I worked with him on Lean on Me, they'd go action, and most people they go action, and they start acting. And Morgan he'd go action, and he'd stand there for a couple of seconds. And now it's on him. See, because you got this crew running around, and all day long they're lighting and fixing things, and you're just waiting around. But when they say action, everybody stops, and it's up to you to do something dangerous or sexy or intimate or whatever. And until you do it, nobody gets to go home. And you got to know that you have that power. So when they say action, Morgan would wait, take his luxury and his time, and then he'd go right in. And I watched him. It was incredible to see that. So you learn a lot from working with people, and so that's something you can steal. You can start saying, I'm going to do that. Why do I have to rush into it when they say action? They're going to keep that camera running. I can take a couple of seconds, and now I can go on. I feel in the right place. I feel grounded enough to go.
It is one heck of a there is nothing like working as far as working on a camera with a camera as opposed to working on stage and doing a play. There is nothing like it in the world because everything is in bits and pieces. Everything is in segments. Everything is out of sequence. And you have to make this moment happen out of sequence and in bits and pieces. And you have to work within the confines of the camera lens, the confines of the lights, the marks and whatever else, and then try to make this performance happen in this, like that. And then it has to be pieced together later on to make it look like it's a continuous story. Let me tell you something. That is where the work comes from in this whole thing. Is being able to do that and make it happen.
Well said.
Thank you very much, guys.
Thanks,
Appreciate it.
guys.
Thanks, guys.